Namaste viewers, this is Dr. Pratibha KS. Today in this video, you are going to understand about lipids introduction, okay? But in lipids, you need to understand introduction, classification, structure, properties, and functions of lipids, okay? Before I begin today's class, I request you to subscribe my channel to support. Thank you. Let me start today's video with this quote of the day. When I is replaced by we, even illness becomes wellness. I'll repeat for you. When I is replaced by we, even illness becomes wellness. Thank you. Let us go to the introduction part of these lipids. Lipids are heterogeneous class of organic compounds and are important constituent of animal and plant tissues. Okay, lipids include fatty acids, acylglycerols, steroids, waxes, terpenes, and prostaglandins. Okay, lipids are greasy or oily organic substances, right? When you touch a lipid or when you leave the lipids on the paper, that will leave that particular oily impression, right? Relatively, these lipids are insoluble in water and considerably soluble in organic solvents like benzene, ether, chloroform, acetone, methanol, etc. Therefore, they're hydrophobic in nature. Hydrophobic means they are water hating, right? Hydrophilic means water loving, right? Let me recall here about the introduction part. We can define lipids as lipids are heterogeneous group of organic compounds and water insoluble compounds, okay, which are oily or greasy in consistency but soluble in non-polar solvents like ether, chloroform, benzene, and so on and so forth. So all these solvents can be used for the isolation of the lipids or separation of the lipids. For example, fatty acids, fats, oils, waxes, certain vitamins and hormones are considered as lipids. Okay, lipids are composed of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, like carbohydrates, but poor in oxygen and therefore they require more oxygen for oxidation to release energy. Okay. Kindly make a note of this one. In the exam, they may ask you define lipid and give the classification. That time we need to give this particular definition and introduction of lipids. Okay. If I'm going very quick, we can pause this video and you can make a note. I request you to invest your quality of time while watching this video. If you miss any kind of slide, no, we can have this particular track. I have given here the slide number. Go to the slide number and kindly make a note in your notebook. Okay. Biological membrane are made up of membrane proteins and lipid bilayer provides structural framework acting as a barrier to most water soluble molecules, right? These lipids serves as an insulating material in the subcutaneous tissue, that is beneath the skin, that is hypodermis, and around certain organs. Okay, they act like an insulating material. Non-polar lipids acts as electrical insulators, that is the internal electric charges do not flow freely. Okay. Lipoproteins. Lipoproteins means that's a conjugated one, right? Lipid, it's conjugated with the proteins. So lipoproteins are important constituent of the cell membrane and mitochondria, right? This particular lipoproteins, which also acting like a barrier to most of the water soluble molecules. They leave an oily impression on the paper. I have already told this one. It performs the important function to supply fuel to the body. It yields, it means lipids yields more heat and energy than carbohydrates. Okay. Amount of energy released on oxidation of 1 gram of fat is 9.1 kilocalorie per gram. Okay, which is twice the amount of energy released due to the carbohydrate oxidation, which gives 4.1 kilocalorie per gram. Okay, so more heat we are able to generate when we consume this particular lipids, right? Like carbohydrates, lipids are composed of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. But oxygen is very less, that is 2:1 in lipids can be observed. Okay, hope you understood this particular slide. Number 5. Next slide, 6. Lipids are not polymers, that is, they don't have repeating monomeric units as in case of proteins and nucleic acids. Okay, there is no repeating monomeric units as in case of proteins. We have a many number of amino acids, right? Polymers can be seen. Nucleic acid, nitrogenous bases, that is polypeptide can be seen. Whereas lipids are not polymers. Okay, lipids contains two groups. Okay, mainly these lipids which are comprises of two groups. What are those? Polar and non-polar groups. Polar is much smaller than non-polar group. Okay, non-polar group provides the water repellent or hydrophobic property to lipids, while the polar group is hydrophilic. So in lipids, we have both the case of hydrophobic and hydrophilic. The term lipid was for the first time used by German biochemist by name Broad. Okay. Now let us go through the occurrence. Hope you understood here. In lipids, you can see the presence of hydrophobic property, and also you can see the hydrophilic property. So hydrophobic property is known as, that is the polar non-polar group, whereas the hydrophilic property is the polar group. Whereas what I mentioned here, two groups in which polar is much smaller than the non-polar group. Okay. Now let us go through the occurrence. Fats are widely distributed in plants and animals, okay, from which they can be extracted by fat solvents like alcohol and ether. Okay, in plants, they are particularly present in nuts, seeds, and certain leaves, fruits, where the reserve food material will be there. No, there you can see the presence of rich amount of the fats can be seen. In animals, they are stored in adipose tissue, bone marrows, and the nervous system is rich in lipids like cholesterol, phospholipids, and glycolipids. Okay, blood contains large amounts of fats. In the previous slide, we discussed that in the plants, we can see their presence in nuts, seeds, and certain leaves, fruits, where we can see the reserve food material. No, there you can see. Whereas in the animal, we can see in adipose tissues, bone marrows, nervous system, whereas rich in lipids like cholesterol, phospholipids, glycolipids, and also blood contain large amount of fats. Okay, this is about the occurrence. Now let us go through food sources rich in fats are animal source, milk, egg, meat, liver, butter, fish oils, etc. Okay. Then plant source, nuts, seeds, oils, leaves, fruits, and so on and so forth. Okay. Previous slide, we went through about the occurrence. Now this is the food sources rich in fats. Deposition of fats underneath the skin exert insulating effect to body, okay, and they protect the body from excessive heat or cold. Fat people are said to withstand heat or cold better than thin people because the presence of fat underneath the skin, which is exerting an insulating effect outside water, the heat or cold condition will be there. No, due to the presence of this fat underneath the skin, one cannot feel very easily the outside condition. So fat people can withstand to very high temperature or heat or cold better than thin people, right? The mesenteric fats acts as padding to protect the internal organs. Okay, this will be acting like a padding or cushion to the most of the internal organs. Now let us go through the classification. Okay, in the classification of lipids, there is no universally accepted system of classification of lipids. Okay, system of classification proposed by Broad in the year 1925, and this classification is based on the nature of the products obtained on hydrolysis of lipids are divided into classes. Okay, it means there is no universally accepted any kind of classification for the lipids. Okay, whatever the Bloor given the classification, how did he give? Based on the nature of the products obtained on hydrolysis. After the hydrolysis of that particular fats, what are they found? No, based on the product obtained, the particular lipids were classified. How we classified? Simple lipids, compound lipids, then derived lipids. Okay, so we classified that one into simple lipids, compound lipids, and derived lipids. How did we classify? Based on the nature of the products which obtained on hydrolysis of the lipids, these three group of classification are done. Okay, simple lipids. Again, the simple lipids we can classify into fat and oil, wax. Okay, then compound lipids, you can see further classification: phospholipids, glycolipids, sulfolipids, aminolipids, and lipoproteins. So on this which comes under the compound lipids. Next here, derived lipids. Okay, here you can see sterol or steroids, ketone, hormones, sphingolipids, okay, terpene lipids, soluble vitamins, okay, and many more. So this is about the classification of lipids, okay, based on the nature of the products obtained on hydrolysis of lipids, all were divided. Let me recall here, classification of lipids mainly based on the nature of the products upon hydrolysis, okay. Simple lipids, that is fat and oil. The simple lipids further classified into two types, that is fats and oils, and another one is the wax. Okay, these fats and oils will set as triglycerides. Compound lipids I already told, and this is the derived lipids. So this is all about the classification of lipids. Now let us understand one by one the classification of lipids. Simple lipids are homolipids. These are class of lipids which upon hydrolysis is same or different kinds of fatty acids and alcohol. Okay, in bracket you can write that as glycerol. Hope you are making a note in your notebook. Okay, kindly make a note. Don't just simply watch this video, make a note so that you'll be able to understand, not necessary to watch again and again this video. Make your own notes. Or you can also define the simple lipids as these are esters of fatty acids with various alcohols such as glycerols or other higher alcohols. Okay, for example, acetyl alcohol, myrcene alcohol. Okay, you can define simple lipids or homolipids like this. They are further classified as I told, fats, that is oils and fats, and waxes. Fats are most abundant and widespread class of lipids occurring in nature, right? A fat may be liquid or solid at room temperature depending upon its melting point. Okay, we'll discuss in detail even in our properties of the lipids. Okay, just keep in your mind what are the fat will be there. That fat may be sometimes liquid or solid. You may get liquid fat also and solid fat. Okay, they attain liquid or solid at room temperature depending upon its melting point, right? The melting point is less if it exists as liquid at ordinary room temperature and ordinary temperature, and this is oil. Okay, when in the room temperature condition or ordinary temperature, if that fat is liquid, then that will be oil. Okay, when melting point is high, the fats exist as solid. Okay, when the high melting point, whenever you take a fat, if they require more melting point to come back to the liquid condition, then the fat exists as solid at ordinary temperature. When melting point is less, when you heat within a less time, that comes to a liquid condition. Okay, that is known as the oil. So we can differentiate here. The liquids are oil and the solid fats are solid. Fats are also triglycerides because why these fats are triglycerides? Because there you can see the presence of 3 molecules of fatty acid. That's why the name given tri. Okay, 3 molecules of fatty acids condense with 1 molecule of glycerol to form fat. Okay, I'll repeat for you. Fats are also called triglycerides. Okay, or in short, we can also say triacylglycerol, that is TAG. Okay, TAG. This TAG called because 3 molecules of fatty acid, 3 molecules of fatty acids condense with 1 molecule of glycerol to form fat. Okay, with the release of 3 water molecules. Okay, that's why it's known as triglycerides. You can see here the reaction. Here you need to write 3 fatty acid. Okay, write here 3 fatty acid reacts with 1 molecule of the alcohol or glycerol to form esters of triacyl glycerol with the release of 3 water molecule. Okay, the general formula of this fats are RCOOH. Okay, or also you can write CH3CH2N COOH. Okay, this R will give you, tells you about the number of carbon atoms of C and hydrogen, carbon and hydrogen. Okay, so you can also write the general formula CH3CH2N COOH. I hope you are making note of all this. This is slide number 13. Next, you can make out here the structure representation of triacyl glycerol. Okay, this is the triacyl glycerol, that is this one. Okay, already after the esterification, you can see the formation of the triacyl glycerol. That direct triacyl glycerol I have given. So in the examination hall, they may ask you to write the triacyl glycerol. That time you must be able to write this triacyl glycerol. Okay, so how this triacylglycerol has formed? This triacylglycerol has formed by this particular glycerol. Okay, you can see over there the presence of glycerol molecule can be seen there, right? One molecule of the glycerol, right? And you can see the presence of this, the one molecule of the glycerol. Okay, how to write the glycerol structure here? Can make out that particular glycerol structure, that is, okay, glycerol structure is actually, that is CH, that is CH2, let me write it here, that is CH2OH. Okay, here again this is CH OH, and below this is CH2OH. Okay, this is the one molecule of glycerol. Okay, this is the one molecule of the glycerol. This one molecule of the glycerol which reacts with the 3 fatty acids. See, there is no connection here. This is the one fatty acid molecule. So to write this one as, this is one fatty acid molecule, COOH. Okay, this is COOH and this is R1. Okay, this is the one fatty acid molecule, the second fatty acid molecule, and this is the 3 fatty acid molecule. Okay, here for the formation of triacylglycerides, TAG, a triglyceride, what happens here? From glycerol, one hydrogen molecule and the hydroxyl molecule from the one hydroxyl molecule from the each fatty acids, okay, which undergoes condensation with the release of the 3 water molecules. Okay, you can see here the formation of this particular water molecule. Okay, you can see the release of 3 water molecules. Okay, when the release of 3 water molecules happens, here we can see the formation of the structure CH2, CHH, and this, okay, oxygen ester which reacts with this one, right, C double bond O, and they connect with each other and they becomes CHHO, right, and C double bond O, and there you can say triglyceride. Okay, all the 3 fatty acid molecules which are connected with each other to this glycerol to become triglyceride. Okay, and with the release of 3 water molecules. Hope you understood here. Okay, this is all about the formation of triglyceride. In the exam, instead of writing all this process, that is the formation of triglycerides due to the presence of 1 molecule of glycerol and 3 molecules of fatty acids, you can directly write this particular structure. Okay, they have the structure is the same structure. This structure, okay, what are the structure is here now? The same structure which is given here. Okay, this is CH2, right? The CH2 glycerol, right? CH2O, C double bond O, R1, right? Which is connected with each other. CHO, C double bond O, R2, CH2O, C double bond O, R3. Here the fatty acids are not the same. When we write R1, R2, R3, there are 3 fatty acids are there. When we write the same fatty acid, then we'll write R1, R1, R1. Okay, like that. So this is the triacylglycerides. Tri, presence of 3 fatty acid molecule and 1 glycerol molecule. And these carbon atoms are also referred as alpha, beta, and gamma here. Okay. So this is all about the structure of the triacylglycerol. Hope you have understood here the formation of triacylglycerides. If you want to understand the fatty acid molecule with some of the structure presentation, here you can see, okay, here you can see this is the glycerol molecule, right? CH2OH. This is CHOH, CH2OH. So how this particular triglyceride has formed? The hydrogen from the glycerol molecule and hydroxyl from the fatty acid molecule, right, condense with each other, right, and there you can see the formation of the ester linkage, and there'll be a release of the 3 water molecule. Okay, this is the R that says about the number of hydrogen and carbon atoms. Okay, you can see. So earlier we had written COOH and this as the R1. It's, this R tells us about the present number of C and H. Okay, when both is 1 molecule of glycerol and 3 molecules of fatty acid chain reacts, then we are going to get the ester formation. You can see here, and you can see the formation of triglyceride or neutral fat can be seen. Okay, you just remember this particular triacylglycerol structure. Okay, you can just keep this in your mind, or this formation of you can keep in your mind. Later, once you understand all the classes, so you can make out this particular structure presentation. Okay, and here also it's very clear. Okay, it's very clear. You can make out this is the 1 molecule of the glycerol. As I told, this is CH2OH, CHOH, CH2OH. This is the 1 molecule of the glycerol reacts with the three molecules of fatty acids. Why the three molecules? They are not interconnected each other. Okay, this is R1COH, this is R2COH, and this is the R3COH. This R will tells us about the presence of number of carbons and how many hydrogen that we are going to mention here. Okay, this is the fatty acid molecule which undergoes esterification to form triacyl glycerol or triacyl glycerides. In short, you can say this one as, right, you can this one as 3AG. Okay, you can see CH2. Okay, here the hydrogen from the glycerol and hydroxyl from the fatty acid molecule, okay, condense with each other and forms release in the form of the water molecule. Then you are going to get there the ester bond, right? That is CH2O, C double bond O, R1. Okay, same thing. This particular will connect with here, right? Attached with here, here also C double bond O, R3. And those structures are known as triacyl glycerol or triacyl glyceride with the release of three water molecules. Upon hydrolysis, you can also get back to glycerol and three molecules of fatty acids. Okay, as I told in the previous slide that R1, R2, R3 will tell us the presence of three different types of amino acids. When you understand this triacylglycerol, you must also keep in your mind what is this monoglyceride, diglyceride, and triglyceride. Okay, here you can see monoglyceride. Just think what may be this monoglyceride. Monoglyceride means this one molecule of glycerol which reacted with or underwent the esterification with one molecules of fatty acid. That time you can see the formation of only this much. Okay, this presence of glycerol one molecule attached linkage of this only one fatty acid molecule. So this is monoglyceride, presence of only single fatty acid. Okay, whereas here diglyceride means this glycerol molecule reacted with the two molecules, two fatty acids. Okay, and the structure is known as diglyceride. Okay, here one molecule of the glycerol which reacted with the three molecules of fatty acids to become triacyl glyceride or TAG. Okay, hope you understood the difference between monoglyceride, diglyceride, and triglyceride. When three fatty acids of glyceride are identical, then it is called simple triglyceride. Okay. So whereas in this particular case, here you can see the presence of R1, R2, R3. Okay. This is known as mixed triglyceride. So what I said here, when three fatty acids of triglyceride are identical, then it is called simple triglyceride. For example, if I have a fatty acid, this is also R1, and whereas this is also R1, okay, same fatty acid, and this is also R1, that time I can say that as simple triglyceride. Okay, but when the fatty acids of triglycerides are not identical, then it is called mixed triglycerides. Whereas the presence of R1, R2, and R3 are known as mixed triglycerides. Okay, natural fats are mainly composed of mixed triglycerides, consists of three fatty acids. That is, consists of three different fatty acids. That is R1, R2, R3. The fatty acids will differ. Triglycerides generally have no free acidic or basic group. Okay, therefore they are formed as neutral fats. So hope you already understood this. This is the structure of triacyl glyceride or glycerols. Waxes. So this waxes which also comes under the simple lipids only, right? Waxes are esters of fatty acids with high molecular weight monohydroxy alcohols. When oils and fats, when they undergo for the hydrolysis, they'll give very simple alcohols. Whereas these waxes, upon hydrolysis, they'll give the glycerol molecule and the higher molecule of alcohols. For example, fats are simple lipids. When they are hydrolyzed, break down into fatty acids and trihydric alcohol, that is glycerol. For example, when we hydrolyze oils and fats, upon hydrolysis, that will give fatty acids and simple glycerol. Okay. Whereas simple lipids which break down to fatty acids and to some alcohol other than glycerol on hydrolysis is called waxes. For example, here we have taken the wax here, which upon hydrolysis that gives us to fatty acids and higher alcohols like acetyl alcohol and myrcene alcohol can be obtained. Okay, the common fatty acids present in natural fats are palmitic acid, stearic acid, and oleic acid. Just keep in your mind some of the common fatty acids are some of the natural fats are palmitic acid, stearic acid, and oleic acid. Okay, and their structural representation, which is given here, molecular formula is given here, that is CH3. Okay, here you can see CH3, CH2N, COOH, CH3, CH2. Okay, actually molecular formula of this particular lipids are, you can write CH3 here, CH2, N, COOH. Okay, so palmitic acid here, CH3. Okay, CH3, CH2, 14, COOH. Okay, so whereas here, as I told, the fatty acids can also be written like this, RCOOH, right? COH will be there, monocarboxylic condition. Whereas this R will tell us about the how many number of carbon and how many number of hydrogen. So you need to check that how many carbon atoms are there in palmitic acid and how many hydrogen atoms are there in this particular palmitic acid. So we can write the formula always in this CH3, CH2N, COOH, or you can also write it as RCOOH. Okay. Whereas this is stearic acid. Stearic acid, the molecular formula CH3, CH2, 16, COOH. And I want you to write how many CH. This CH is the R group. Okay, this is the R group, whereas COH is the this particular carboxylic group. Okay, oleic acid, CH3, CH2, 7, CH, double bond, CH, CH2, 7, COOH. Here this is RCOOH. Okay, this R will tell us about the how many number of carbon atoms and how many number of hydrogen atoms. Okay, you need to tell me. Oh, you have made a note. So for in palmitic acid, how many carbon, how many hydrogen? Okay, in the palmitic acid, you can see the presence of 15 carbon atom and hydrogen 31. It means this one you are not going to count because as it is, you are going to write because other molecular formula of this particular lipids are, that is RCOOH. Okay, COH as it is, you are going to write. R you are writing, you are going to write how many C, how many H. So this is 14. 14 C are there plus 1. This is 15. So 15 carbon atoms. Then, okay, here the hydrogen, 14 hydrogens are 14 with CH2, which is multiplied with the 14. 14 to the 28. So 28, 29, 30, 31. So total H hydrogen, that is 31. This is, you can also write the formula in the form of CH3, CH2N, COH, or you can also write in the form of RCOOH. Now we can see here stearic acid. Stearic acid formula here C17. So COH as it is, we are going to write 16. C here already 16 plus 1. This is 17. So C17. 16 to the 32, right? 16 to the 32, 32, 33, 34, and 35. So here C17H, 35 COOH. Then oleic acid here, the formula is CH3, CH2, 7, CH double bond, CH, CH2, 7, COOH. So here you are going to write COH as it is. Okay. 2 sevens are 14, right? Again, 2 sevens are 14 here. Okay. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay. So you're going to count here 14 plus 14. Okay, by counting all this, you are going to get here the 33 hydrogen and here 17 carbon atoms. How 17 carbon atom? This is 7, right? And this is also 7, 14, and this is 15, and this is 16, and this is 17. So C17H33 COOH. So you can write this in the CH3 CH2 NCOH, or you can directly write CO or COOH. Now let us go through compound lipids or complex lipids or heterolipids. Simple lipids, we call those as homolipids, whereas these compound lipids can also be known as heterolipids. These are lipids which upon hydrolysis yield, in addition to fatty acids and alcohol, other compounds such as phosphoric acid, sugars, amino alcohols, carbohydrates, sulfur, proteins, so on and so forth we are going to obtain. Whereas simple lipids, I told you that we are classified these lipids based on the nature of the product, what we obtained after the hydrolysis. So simple lipids upon hydrolysis, that has given only the fatty acids and the, that has given only the alcohol, right? Whereas here in compound lipids, other than fatty acids and alcohol, we obtained all these particular compounds. So they call these as compound lipids. There are 4 subdivisions under this group. Okay, very very important one I'm going to mention here, that is phospholipids or phosphatides. They contain fatty acids, alcohol, phosphoric acid, and nitrogen containing compounds. Okay, for example, phospholipids means here the phospholipid which upon hydrolysis, which has yielded fatty acids, alcohol, phosphoric acid, and nitrogenous compounds. It means the compound lipids which upon hydrolysis, other than fatty acid, other than this particular fatty acids and alcohol, they have given the other compound. Okay, that's why they categorize under phospholipids. Hope you're able to understand here. Hope you are following me. Next, phosphatidyl ethanolamine or phosphatidyl choline. Okay, these are some of the examples of phospholipids. Phosphatidyl ethanolamine or phosphatidyl choline. Both are one and the same. Okay, the slight difference can be seen. Here, these upon hydrolysis, phosphatidyl ethanolamine and phosphatidyl choline upon hydrolysis yields fatty acids, alcohol, and phosphoric acid. As the name suggests, presence of phosphoric acid, nitrogenous bases like choline plus ethanolamine. So those particular lipids were mentioned as phosphatidyl ethanolamine or phosphatidyl choline. Okay. Next one is glycolipids. Glycolipids are lipids containing carbohydrates. Okay. And nitrogen, but no phosphoric acid and glycerol can be seen in the glycolipids. Okay. And next one here, sulfolipids. These are lipids containing sulfate groups. It means whatever upon hydrolysis product we got now, they are categorized. Here next one is lipoproteins. These are lipids attached to proteins and they are present in plasma and tissue. Okay, that is about the compound lipids. Very few I have mentioned over there. Next one, let us go through derived lipids. This class of lipids are obtained by the hydrolysis of simple or compound lipids. It means they are the derivatives of simple or compound lipids. Derived lipids do not contain any ester linkage, okay, but considered to have been derived from naturally occurring esterified materials such as lipids or precursors of lipids. For example, fatty acids, steroids, prostaglandins, terpenes, hormones, sphingolipids, sterols, aldehyde, and ketones. Okay, these are some of the example which comes under the derived lipids. Hope you are making note of all this particular information. Alcohols found in lipid molecules commonly include glycerol, cholesterol, and higher alcohols such as acetyl alcohol and myrcene alcohol from BVAX. So this is about the alcohols. Melting point of fatty acid is related to chain length and degree of unsaturation. Okay, we'll understand in physical properties. Okay, of the lipids. So you need to keep in your mind that the melting point of fatty acid is related to the chain length. Based on the chain length, this melting point will differ, and also based on the degree of unsaturation. Okay, here you can see the brief overview of classification of lipids. Okay, we went through today that lipids we classified based on the nature of the product what we obtained after hydrolysis. Simple lipids are homolipids, right? Compound lipids are heterolipids. And next one is derived lipids. Okay, make a note of this particular chart. See, these simple lipids are further classified into fats and oils and waxes. Okay, under this fats and oils, you can write triglycerides, simple triglycerides, mixed triglycerides. Simple triglycerides means all the R groups are same, R1, R1, R1. Whereas in mixed triglycerides, all the R groups are different. Okay, that is known as mixed triglycerides or triacyl glycerols. Under the waxes, okay, you can give examples: sperm whale wax, bee wax, and carnauba wax. In my next video, I'm going to explain in detail about this particular simple lipids. Compound lipids are heterolipids. Why the name is given heterolipids? Because these compound lipids upon hydrolysis that is yielded other than this fatty acid and alcohol, other additional compounds. So they mention this as heterolipids. So here main basic classification here, phospholipids and glycolipids. There are so many other classification, but only two I have mentioned here. That is phosphatids, and this glycolipids can also be known as cerebrosides. Okay, under this phospholipids, phosphatids. Okay, this phospholipids can also be known as phosphatids or phosphoglycerides. In this phosphoglycerides, you are going to understand the structure representation of lecithins, cephalins, and plasmalogens. Even you need to learn this phosphoinositides, that is phosphatidylinositols, then phosphosphingosides, that is sphingomyelins. In the exam 2 marks, you may get this particular sphingomyelins or lecithins usually they'll ask. Under glycolipids, these glycolipids can also be known as cerebrosides. Okay, under this kerosene, then phenosine, then nervine and oxynervine. So all these not that much important. So no worries, just keep in mind about the what are glycolipids. Okay, now here derived lipids. Derived lipids we are classified into steroids, terpenes, and carotenoids. Some of the examples you can see here: steroids, that is C29 and C28, C27 steroids. Okay, will always classify as fatty acids are RCOOH. This R will tell us about the number of carbon atom. Okay, the same thing mentioned here, number of carbon atom here C29. Whereas in this case, don't keep this here, just keep in your mind R will be here. Number of carbon atoms C29, 28, 27 steroid, which comes under this cholesterol and coprostol and cholesterol and ergosterol. Okay. Then C24 steroids also will come. C21, C19 and C18 steroids are going to come under this particular steroids. Then terpenes like monoterpenes, then sesquiterpenes, then diterpenes, triterpenes, tetraterpenes, and polyterpenes. We are not going to study all these things, just will focus on one particular general structure of the terpenes. Then carotenoids, lycopene, carotenes, and xanthophylls. So this is all about the classification of lipids. Hope you're able to understand this particular concept today. And if you have any kind of doubts, you can reach to me. Okay. You in the exam, nobody will ask you to give the entire classification of the lipids. Okay. Any two example, if you write for all these simple lipids, compound lipids, and derived lipids, that is more than enough. Okay. Hope I made myself clear to you with the introduction part related with lipids. Okay, next class I'll be coming with the classification of lipids and properties of lipids and functions. Stay tuned with me, stay connected with me. I, Dr. Pratibha K, signing out for today. Thank you for watching this video.